Crossed.
Hi, Alex.
Hiya. Just going to say, just give it a few seconds because I think we are now live. Okay, I'm just going to change our view so that we're side by side. That's better. So, hi, this is Alex and Robyn, and we are going out live, but this is also for the PFLO podcast as well. Going out there, helping business owners make some absolutely kick-ass decisions. There, Robyn was saying we shouldn't swear, but I just got in an ass in the early doors just to break.
I don't think anyone really noticed.
I think they did. I'm just going to have a quick check and make sure that it is all okay, and we are going live in the group. I'm just having a look. Anyway, we have some exciting news today because Robyn has just been shortlisted for the Rising Star Award for the Digital Accountancy Award. So congratulations, Robyn.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very, very excited and somewhat overwhelmed as well. It's really exciting because really been acknowledged for digital accountancy and all the work that we've been doing over the past 2-3 years in promoting digital accountancy. And I'm just very, very happy at last the work that we're doing is being recognised.
Well, I tell you what though, could you tell me what exactly is digital accountancy?
Very good question. I think for different people it means different things. For me, it means accessibility and making what information is out there available for business owners to get the most out of their business, and the information that's on the cloud, and utilising all the data that's out there and making it accessible for everyone.
And that has, I think, the last 6 months. So we're obviously we're live in the group, but for those of you on the podcast, it's October 2020, and of course, in the last 6 to 7 months, depending on where you are in the world, that's just blown up, and it's never been more important, really. So digital accountancy is really it's not just for accountants; it's for every single business owner. So you can have so much more dynamic accessibility. That's just a really fancy way of saying agile, really, isn't it? Dynamic accessibility.
Yeah.
Should have like a ding for buzzwords. But today, so Robyn works with us at Blue Arrow, and she is an accountant and finance director. And predominantly, Robyn is the forward-thinking arrow of all the arrows in our team, and she's the one who actually really goes, but why is it like that? What are you trying to achieve here? What's the goal? What do you want to do? Are you earning enough money? How do you get that money? And she is super duper on it in regards to planning. In fact, Robyn usually keeps me on my toes when it comes to just being on form and keeping really going with planning. In fact, we had a great planning session earlier this morning as well. So Robyn, we're here today to talk about the very exciting topic of cash flow, which you and I know is absolutely essential to every business, but we don't want to really dictate anything to anyone. Cash flow can be a bit like, it's what you know you should do in your business. It's a bit like, you should have your vitamins and eat your greens. But really, what is cash flow and what does it do for a business?
Well, cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, whether it is a small one-man band or whether it is a multinational corporation. Cash is at the heart of every single organisation, and really it's not only the lifeblood, but it's a mindset. And what we've been working on really over the last 12-18 months is developing a money mindset and making that matter for small businesses. And really, it's been working to get people to understand not only the cash, but the reasons why money just sometimes disappears. They can get a really big invoice, and then suddenly tax season comes around, and then all that money that they've earned suddenly disappears, or they're scrambling around to try and pay the bills, pay the creditors, and then at the end of the day, there's nothing left for them. So really, cash flow, it is what you have today, and also making sure you've got what you need for tomorrow as well.
And that's a really big thing at the moment, isn't it? In terms of, so we're creating a product for businesses, which is basically, we're calling it at the moment an action plan, aren't we? But hopefully we'll come up with a slightly better name. But it is sitting down and being coached effectively. This is what a finance director does, is sitting out and being coached and really thinking about all of these steps in your business and the cash. And one of the things that we were talking about was, having not only tools, but equally, we used to ask long-term cash flow. What do you think's happening right now, though? What's the most important thing for people right now to be doing with cash flow?
Cash flow, one is to understand the situation now, what they've got coming in, what work they have, and also what work's the most profitable as well. Every business, or certainly every business that I speak to, has been affected by what's happened over the last 6 months. There's no one out there that hasn't been impacted in some way. And what people need to do now is to understand the income that they've got coming in, what is for sure, what their fixed costs are. So everything that goes out every month, rent, rates, everything, and then establish what costs they've got which change, and whether the costs that change every month, the variable, whether we could do something about them, whether they really need to happen. So understanding where you are right now, and then looking forward, even just the next 90 days. We're in the last quarter now of 2020, and there is still time to make a difference. There's still time to look forward and end 2020 on a positive note. And by looking at where you want to be, looking at any goals that you've got, any long-term goals, any short-term goals, and trying to marry those up and establishing what you want and what you need as well.
Because that's the thing, we've entered into this planning session, is not just about your business or the KPIs, the key performance indicators, for your business, but it's for your personal life. Because at the end of the day, your business has got to serve you as much as you serve it. And that can be a really common thing. So when it comes to cash flow, what do you think the biggest mistakes people make are?
The biggest one is not looking at it, not looking at any cash flow, and really burying your head in the sand. There are numerous businesses that need to. And then there are the businesses who do have a look at their cash, and they will look and they'll have a spreadsheet, and they will change the spreadsheet and look at whether they'll know where the cash is going, but they don't take any actions on that. So they need to see the areas within their business which is potentially either taking the money, or whether they need to go out and earn money, or they need to look at which areas in their business are most profitable and focus on those. Maybe put the resources, if there's any limited resources, they need to be able to focus on what is profitable, what will make them money, and take action on what the forecasting and what the numbers are actually telling them.
So it's interesting you're saying what is actually profitable. I mean, I know this happens. This has happened with businesses we've worked with, which is you think you're selling a product or your service or whatever it is, and you're going, okay, but and the cash is coming in and I can see the cash in my bank, but actually what happens is the work hasn't really been done on the margin. So do you see that a lot as well? I mean, I know we do as a business, but in terms of what are the key mistakes with margins that we do, or assumptions we make?
One, businesses need to understand every business has an industry, and there will be industry markers for profit margin, whether that's generally gross profit margin. So whichever industry you're in, put a little Google search in and say, if you're a company, what would be the expected margin? So what you're doing is you're benchmarking against other businesses in your industry, and you want to see what is typical for people who are doing the same job as you. And if you're fortunate, your margin will be higher than people within the same industry, or roughly the same, or lower. And if it's lower, some people have a high turnover of goods, so they may have a slightly lower margin than others. And every business is on a slightly different course, or on a slightly different journey, and down a slightly different road. So one is to look at what your industry expectation is of your margin, and then looking at really carving up your business into chunks and seeing which chunk makes the most money, what resources do you have available, and where you can put them. So at the moment, we've obviously coming to the end of furlough, big changes at the end of October. So a lot of the work that I'm doing at the moment is seeing how business owners can make the jump from bringing people back in, or whether there's potential redundancies. Or so we're looking at the areas of the business that the staff can potentially do when they come back, and then focusing on the most profitable areas.
And so those are the kind of biggest mistakes people make, which is not really knowing how much money. So there's the cash that comes in, but then obviously how much money the products that you're selling is actually making you because of going in. What kind of tools could we use in the business? So we use Xero, but there are some other really fun tools as well.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I love Xero. I mean, we use Xero every day, and I promote it so much because it's the accessibility. Again, it's going back to the digital, and it's making your accounts and your books up to date, and you're seeing it on your computer, on your phone. But what is particularly good with Xero are the amount of apps that integrate. So yes, you can do your cash flow forecast on a spreadsheet, and there are plenty of businesses out there that will do that, and that's not a problem. But every spreadsheet I see has an error. I've never been given
in your face. You were just like, oh, I think we heard that audible kind of every time.
And if business owner gives me a spreadsheet going, I've done these calculations and this is my cash flow forecast, and I will always find an error. Sorry, it just happens. But the one good thing with using Xero are the amount of apps available. So they're the applications that will feed the data from Xero. And one really good cash flow forecasting tool that we use is Fluidly. And this takes your up-to-date information. So you go in and you do your sales invoices, you'll do your purchase invoices, and Fluidly will know when they need to be paid. They'll be able to track your staff expenses. They'll be able to see what costs are fixed. So really looking at the up-to-date information. And I mean, we've had clients who've come to us and literally gone, I need to have some money and I need it today. Can I actually do this? Can I take the money out, and will I still be able to make my PAYE payment? Will I still be able to make my tax payment and my VAT payment? And literally within 30 minutes, we can get a report to them to tell them how much they'll be able to take and still meet all the requirements. Whereas when you deal with a spreadsheet, you've got to double check all your information, you've got to make sure it all adds up, and then see whether you can do it. And in reality, that would take half a day.
And at the end of the day, it's all about using the technology again to work with us. And yeah, Fluidly has been awesome because also the actual client can get, you the business owner can actually have something at your fingertips as well. But it can be about just knowing what's what, and making sure, of course, as always, that the data is clean, as in the bookkeeping is right and things like that. Yeah, no, Fluidly has been fantastic, as you say. And then it's, once you have that information as well, then you know what decisions you can make. So if you know, as you just said, the scenario being someone says, can I make this purchase or this spend, or will I have enough if I do this at this point in time, obviously all being well. And that's really important. And even where we've had, if suppliers can't pay, and that's coming up a lot, or they're trying to implement a payment plan and go, look, guys, and they're having an honest conversation and saying, I can't pay the entire invoice right now. Could I please set up some sort of installation program? Installation? That's not the word I want. Installment plan. Then that's what you can do. But equally, it gives us all sorts of decisions like, like invoice finance and things like that. Do we need to sell that invoice and get the finance of it, and then a company can deal with it? So we're running, it's about nearly a few minutes past now, and I've got one big question, which I was talking to you about earlier, and I thought this would be quite fun, which is cash is king, and as you just said, the lifeblood of a business. But I had a bit of a fun question for you, which is, if you had £100,000 to spend on a business, what would immediately jump to your mind in terms of what would you do? And this is to everyone out there as well. I want you to have a think about this. Someone comes along and gives you 100K for your business. What do you do? And that has to be on your business. running off to the Caribbean is not an option at this point.
Or not buying some kind of electric Tesla or something.
Well, you never know. Could be for your business.
Maybe. That's a whole other podcast, I think.
That's a whole other on 0% benefits in kind for this year.
What would I spend it on? I think it's a very good question. For me at the moment, resources and spending on staff, spending on training, and spending on resources like digital resources, making sure you're up to date with everything you need to do your business and do your job properly, but mainly for me on people and investing within people.
That's me.
Yeah, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry, back in the room. My Wi-Fi, as I've just actually had a message crop up, my internet is unstable. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on today. Sorry, I missed you at on resources and staff, and then you were starting to say digital resources. So first of all, I want to ask you, why digital? Why resources and staff? What's the benefit? What would you do with that? What would that 100K bring you?
Expertise in areas. For me, we're in accountancy, so I would bring in the people that would be able to support the growing client base that we've got and the needs of business owners, and training to get the people with the right skills to be able to move forward. For me, that would be a real priority. It's a great industry to be in at the moment. It's very exciting, and I'm just really looking forward to the future. But definitely for me, it would be resources.
Absolutely. Oh, that's kind of cool. I was trying to think. Well, I tell you what, I'd love to hear from any of you guys. If comment or send us a comment with what would you spend 100K on in your business right now? Because I'm I think training. In fact, I have been training, like spending on my own personal or professional development. And those have been the last two big spends I think I've done, is professional development. Because being, I suppose, at the top of your game right now, it feels like a big pressure, but as long as you're investing in yourselves and investing in the quality that you deliver, then I suppose you can't really go wrong. It's always going to have some sort of ROI in your business. Well, fantastic. So I think to recap, basically, it's first of all, get your head out of the sand and make sure you're looking at your cash flow forecasting. What if someone doesn't really know where to start? What one piece of useful like takeaway could we give them about getting started with monitoring cash flow as a habit?
As a habit, I would say the first thing you need to do is have a good accounting software, and with that you can get all the reports that you need very, very quickly. So first of all, I would get that software, move away from spreadsheets, and it can be good when you're first starting out, but really for the cost that they are 10, 15, 20 pounds ish per month. And if you want to be in business and take it seriously, you need to make that investment. Have a look at put the information in, have a look at what your cash flow, what you're spending your money on, and making sure it's in the right areas, making sure that people are paying you when they say they're going to pay you, and take action if they don't.
That's it. Yeah, because the cash flow is just, it just brings up so many great questions about how efficiently your business is running. As you say, like creditor days and debtor days, and in terms of how long people are taking on average. And actually the software that we use, it tells you instantly, this client takes on average this many days to pay you, in which case it flags it up and traffic lights it, and kind of you go, right, we've got to have a conversation about what's going on there. And can we help them in some sort of way? Is it just a mindset issue? Is it just poor admin? What's going on there? So it raises all sorts of questions. Well, Robyn, awesome. Thank you. I think that's been incredibly valuable today. And if you guys do have any questions at all, we're here in the group. So do post them on the comments below. If you're listening on the podcast, come and join the group. It's called Launch and Reboot, the Business Owner's Guide, or community, I think it is. And it's all about how you can use digital to help your business work more for you, so that you can spend more time doing what you need to do and love to do. So any cash flow forecasting ideas, and if you're interested in the growth or boosting sessions, the finance director sessions that Robyn's going to be running, then give us a little message or a PM, and we'll speak to you soon. So do check out the website as well. It's www.bluearrowaccounting.co.uk. Anyway, thanks for this week. We'll let you know on Monday what's up for next Thursday at 3 p.m. Take care. Bye. Thanks, Robyn.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, everyone.